Have you ever thought to yourself, I'd love to watch somebody rank every player in a specific basketball franchise's history via a mostly arbitrary criteria? Well, you're in luck because it's Ranking Every Raptor version 5, the pivot to video. Let's start, shall we? Hello, I'm Sean Woodley. I'm the host of the Locked On Raptors podcast, and I've been covering the Toronto Raptors now for 9 seasons. For the uninitiated, this is Ranking Every Raptor. Back in the day, when I was a writer over at RaptorsHQ.com, I did an annual column ranking every player in Toronto Raptors history with an update provided after each season between 2018 and 2021. It's been on hiatus since, but we're bringing it back now in video form, where we're going to count down all 269 players in Toronto Raptors history, and it begins today with 5 guys who share the unenviable distinction of being the Mr. Irrelevance of Toronto Raptors history. The 5 guys who have suited up for the team only to have had their entire tenure go by without them scoring a single point. We'll get to the heavy hitters as we go throughout the offseason, but today we begin with 5 guys whose lasting memory in the NBA consciousness just may be confined solely to this very video. Let's roll! 269 players have played for the Toronto Raptors in their history, and I defy you to find a single one with a more fascinating pro basketball career than Lamarck Baker, number 269 on our list. His Raptors career was extremely short. He just played 2 minutes for the Raptors in one single game back in February 1999. He missed 1 shot, had 1 turnover, and when he checked out of the game, that was it. Done. The end of Lamarck Baker's career. Full stop. Prior to making the NBA, he spent 7 seasons upon leaving Ohio State, where, by the way, he's number 3 all-time in assists, toiling away on tons of different teams trying to make that NBA dream come true. The Columbus Hurricane, the Palm Beach Stingrays. Where are these jerseys? I need to buy them right now. You go on down the list. All that time spent trying to make the NBA dream come true for just 2 minutes, a turnover, and a miss. And you know what? I don't know Lamarck Baker, but I'd guess he'd say it was worth it. Give it up to one of the most unique and narratively satisfying careers in NBA history. Up next, we have a pretty notable guy, Sam Dekker, who of course is actually a pretty famous NBA player of the last decade or so when you factor in his college bona fides as well. But for the Raptors, he was very short-lived. 54 seconds of playing time is all Sam Dekker got for the Raptors before it was deemed he was the loser of the great Sam Dekker versus Isaac Bonga debate of 2021 that we'll surely tell our children about. His most notable contribution to the team was probably when he and his partner announced on Instagram that they were expecting a baby, which invited all sorts of wonderful, wholesome congratulatory posts from his Raptors teammates. Remember when the Raptors liked each other? Wasn't that sweet? A fun little fact, Sam Dekker now plays for the London Lions, a team that is now part owned by his former teammate and Instagram post commenter, OG Anunoby. Up next, we have a legend of NBA obscurity, William Cunningham, a 6'11 center who played for the Raptors back in 1998-99. He's a man so obscure in NBA history that the only available image of him that I could find on the internet was from a Temple Owls game program from sometime during his time there between 1992 and 96. Cunningham played 16 games with 4 different teams and holds the incredible mark of being a player who played but did not score, not for 1, but for 2 different franchises, pulling off the same feat he did with the Raptors a year prior with the New Jersey Nets. Up next, we have a positively grizzled veteran by the standards of the guys we're talking about today. Bob McCann played 5 whole minutes for the Raptors in a game against Orlando back in 1998, his sole appearance. Hey, he even grabbed 1 whole rebound, which the other guys we're talking about today cannot say. He also holds the record as the Raptor to play the most minutes without scoring for the team. Your records no longer impress me, Kyle Lowry. And rounding out our crew of dudes who never once scored during their time in a Raptors uniform is David Johnson, the one guy today who could conceivably still score a bucket for the Raptors and change that stat someday soon. David Johnson hasn't done a ton since getting drafted 47th overall by the Raptors in 2021, and it's very likely he'll never suit up for the Raptors again after just getting into 2 games combined for 2 minutes in 2021-22. But the Raptors do hold his RFA rights going this summer. So in theory, if they wanted to juice his standing within the ranking Every Raptor charts, they could bring him back, put him on the court, and have him go score some buckets. But is it really worth giving up the distinction of being one of the 5 Mr. Irrelevants in Toronto Raptors history? I don't think so. And that's it for part 1 of ranking Every Raptors. Pivot to video. Stay tuned throughout the offseason as we count down the rest of your favorite and least favorite Raptors guys all the way down to number 1. Wonder who that's going to be. Subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you haven't just yet, and be sure to listen to full episodes of Locked On Raptors Monday to Friday, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day as we keep up with a crazy Raptors offseason that lies before us. Until then, thanks for hanging. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.